Forget for a moment Ron DeSantis, who's done a great job on crime and law and order down in Florida. Let's turn it up a notch a little bit. Let's take a look down at El Salvador. El Salvador, not known for being the safest place in the world, probably not where you want to go honeymoon, and yet El Salvador has had, it's a miracle political program. Over the last couple of years, El Salvador's murder rate has plummeted by 50%. El Salvador, with a new president, President Nayib Bukele, has had its murder rate tumble 56.8% in 2022 alone. How did El Salvador do that? It wanted to do that. It wanted to fix the murder problem. It mustered the political will to do it. And then the president, effecting this policy, sent in troops to go round up MS-13 like the animals that they are. They just released a propaganda video. It's an amazing propaganda video. So you see the MS-13 gangsters in this prison, this supermax prison. You've got these MS-13 gangsters. They've got their heads down. They're all crouched over. They look like insects. So they're all tatted up in green. They've got their heads down below their hands. The guards all have black masks on, presumably because the guards don't want MS-13 to go murder all their families. They're just standing in their boxer shorts. The reason, by the way, that they're shirtless, I think, is to show that they're all just tatted up in all this green, sometimes occult imagery. If demons were incarnate, it would be these guys. And yet, when they're outside the clink, they look so tough, right? That people are encouraged to join these types of gangs because they think it'll get them money and women and status. And yet, what the president has done here is cram them all into this extremely high security prison, round them up like animals. I think he rounded up something like 65,000 of these criminals, threw them all in prison. And then he didn't just stop there. He created a very slick, highly produced propaganda video humiliating them. And then he put that out there for all the world to see. We need to learn from El Salvador. Never thought I would say that sentence, but we in the United States need to follow the lead of the government of El Salvador. We need to be clear that if you commit crimes, you will be punished for it. This is really basic stuff that we all used to know. One of the arguments against capital punishment is that it doesn't actually deter crime. And the studies that suggest it doesn't actually deter crime are a little bit suspect, but let's take them at face value. Let's say it's true that capital punishment today does not really deter crime. What would the surprise be there? We don't really carry out capital punishment. The way it's carried out is completely haphazard. Most of the time, some lib governor will just let everybody off the hook, or some court will pretend like capital punishment is cruel and unusual punishment. It's neither. And so even if there is a conviction for capital punishment, it's not going to deter crime because people don't believe that they're actually going to carry it out. If you had a country right now where the president attended a capital punishment, let's say there were capital punishment at the federal level, a federal inmate is going to be executed, and the president not only didn't grant clemency, but showed up as the face of justice in America, that would do a lot to deter crime. And what the libs and the squishes would say is they would say, this is cruel, this is inhumane, this is authoritarian. It's authoritarian. That's what they are saying, in fact. The New Yorker says, the rise of Nayib Bukele's El Salvador's authoritarian president. It's a repressive crackdown. Listen to what they say. They say, the budding strongman has ridden Bitcoin schemes and a repressive crackdown on gangs to become Latin America's most popular leader. Can you be repressive against gangs? I guess so. I guess you can repress the gangs, but that seems like that is actually liberative of the people. It's not repressive on the people. When you go after these criminals, when you go after these gangsters, it represses that group and it frees the other group. That's why he's Latin America's most popular leader. It's authoritarian. He's wielding authority to do good, to get the bad guys and to help the good guys. We should be doing that too. I mentioned on the show a week or two ago, I said there are 2 words, you got to write them down. If you're driving, wait until you pull over. I don't want you to get in a car accident. The two phrases you've got to write down are big government and authoritarian. Those are words that today don't mean anything. Authoritarian is just a word that the liberals use when conservatives wield political power ever. We should be doing that. We should do that a lot more. We should take some real lessons from Nayib Bukele. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his name. What he is showing us is that the law is a teacher. We've known this all the way back to the ancient Greeks. The law is a teacher. So we on the American right, we like to say politics is downstream of culture. And that is true to a certain extent. The movies affect the government and the way that law is made. No question about it. I think Daily Wire has actually shown that pretty clearly in the battle over transgenderism, among other battles. But the law also affects politics, and the law is also a teacher. And when the law sends an army to your door and rounds up your gang like the animals that they are, you're going to get fewer gangsters, and they're going to commit fewer crimes. And that's going to change the culture, and that's a good thing. It's Music Monday, baby. We got to get on over to the member block. Ben Davies has given me a song that he wants me to throw all of my pop culture prowess onto, and I'm willing to do that. We will see you there. If you're not a member, why not? Are you just one of those hoi polloi out there perusing this show on YouTube for free? You got to go to dailywire.com/Knowles, Knowles. Use code Knowles at checkout to get 2 months free on all annual plans.